At its core, a man's true desire is rarely just sex. It's something else entirely. You are not chasing mere physical pleasure. You are often chasing the affection they never fully received. It appears physical. It looks like primal lust, but it is emptiness. It's a hunger disguised as power. When intimacy becomes truly real, it rips away the theater of performance. It exposes the raw fragility behind the armor. And it is in that brutal, honest moment that Carl Jung's psychology reveals itself. His insights illuminate the path to defeating lust, the body as oracle, the shadow as mirror. The body, Jung taught, is an oracle. It speaks to us. It reveals hidden truths, the shadow, that unseen part of ourselves. It acts as a mirror, but only to the one brave enough to pierce through the masks we wear, brave enough to dive into the cutting truth. Carl Jung never saw desire as merely instinctual. He understood it differently. He saw intimacy as a powerful channel, a bridge between two worlds, the conscious and the unconscious. He often said, every act of intimacy reveals more than it appears. To him, desire is not born in the body, not primarily. It is born in the psyche. Every movement, every impulse, they all have roots buried deep, hidden in the unconscious. Sex is a profound exchange, an exchange of energy, of shadows, of intention. And when the wrong energy, when the wrong woman enters your life, what should have been pleasure, it becomes something else. It becomes physical, emotional, spiritual drainage. This video will help you understand why so many men feel empty after sex, why there is a fatigue, a profound weariness, one that does not come from the body, it comes from the soul. Because every time you surrender, without presence, without real connection, without true discernment, you are trading pieces of yourself. You are exchanging fragments of your very being for crumbs of fleeting validation. The female body is a temple. Yes, a sacred space, but so is yours. Your body is also a temple. And when two temples meet without consciousness, without true awareness, energetic chaos is born. You are not just engaging in a physical act. You are opening portals, sacred gateways. And not all portals lead to safe places. As this journey unfolds, you will begin to see what has always been there. It has been present all along, but no one ever taught you how to decode it. No one taught you how to truly understand. When a man truly surrenders in intimacy, he does not just show his body. He reveals hidden parts of his soul, the primal fear of rejection, the deep insecurity he masks with strength, the profound silence, heavy with an invisible past. Visceral intimacy is not really about sex at all. It is about feeling naked on the inside, utterly exposed. Because it is in that glance, in that quiet pause between touches, that the invisible child appears, the one who only wanted to be loved without having to earn it. And that is more terrifying, more vulnerable than anything. How many men in that moment of profound truth crumble on the inside? While their face remains firm, their outer mask stays intact. The mask of the strong man. It does not fall through yelling, through outward display. It dissolves in silence. A single touch can awaken the echo of abandonment. A small gesture can expose an emotional scar, one he never learned how to explain. Jung said the unconscious is always speaking, always communicating, and in intimacy it screams, it roars. The body becomes the stage where the soul performs its hidden pain, its secret suffering. This is why many men pull away when they feel too close, when the connection deepens. Because facing intimacy means facing the emotional mirror, and not everyone is ready to see who they truly are. The collapse of masculine strength, it does not begin with a crisis, a grand breakdown. It begins with a single touch. A touch that slips through the cracks, the tiny fissures in the armor. And when that happens, something inside begins to awaken, a profound shift. But that awakening, it is only the beginning. Most men grew up believing that giving pleasure was a matter of technique, as if it were a performance. Do it well, impress her, prove that you are enough. But real desire, the kind that truly connects, the kind that touches the soul, that goes far deeper. To give pleasure can be a spiritual act, a profound connection, a way to access that forgotten part of yourself, the part you buried long ago. Because at the core, every man carries a soft, delicate side, a tender vulnerability, one the world taught him to hide, taught him to suppress. Jung called that the feminine within the man. He called it the anima. And the paradox is this: when a man truly surrenders in intimacy, he does not just touch her body. He touches that hidden part of himself, that tender, sacred feminine within, sacred pleasure. It is not about control, it is about overwhelming presence, a complete immersion. It is when the body becomes an oracle, an emotional mirror, where he sees himself with no mask, no pretense. And in that ritual of touch, something awakens, something no performance can fake. This is where desire ceases to be just flesh. It transforms, it becomes soul. If these profound truths resonate deep within you, if you feel this unraveling the threads of your own experience, consider stepping further with us. There is much more to uncover on this path of self-discovery. A profound journey awaits. We delve into these deep territories of the psyche. If this is speaking to your soul, then know that you are not alone. And if you seek more of these unvarnished truths, more insights that strip away the superficial, then it might be time to become part of this ongoing conversation. A simple click, a commitment to your own depth, the sacredness of listening. Ritual sexuality does not begin in the body, not in the physical act. It begins in listening, listening without words, in allowing that exiled sensitivity, that tender anima, to rise again. It is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about reconnecting with who you really are, beneath the fractured armor, beneath the performance. And when that happens, when you embrace that authenticity, pleasure becomes healing. It transforms into medicine for the soul. But for many men, that still feels far too dangerous, too vulnerable, too exposing. Many say they want love. They speak of connection. But deep down, what they truly crave is approval. Desire does not only come from the longing to connect with another. It often springs from an ancestral lack, a desperate primal need to finally be chosen. As if in every relationship, the invisible child inside, the wounded inner boy, is waiting for someone, for anyone to say, "I see you. You matter. You are enough." And that is where the trap begins. Because when the thirst to be loved, when the craving for external validation is greater than the ability to love yourself, truly love yourself, the man begins to shapeshift. He erases himself, he bends, he sacrifices his soul for crumbs of acceptance, for fleeting moments of approval. Have you seen that man? Perhaps you are that man, the one who does everything, who is always available, always kind, always striving to please. And still, he is ignored. He is overlooked. It is not that he is wrong or inherently flawed. It is that he is trapped in an emotional loop, excessive kindness. It is often just pain, deep, unaddressed pain. Wearing the mask of virtue, he is not loving from a place of wholeness. He is begging for affection through the language of performance, through constant self-sacrifice. And here is where the dark projection begins. He expects the other person to save him, but that never works. It cannot work. No one can fill a void within you, a void that only you can address. It takes immense courage, raw, unflinching courage, to look inward, to ask the piercing question, what am I truly trying to prove here? Because sometimes that exhausting effort to be the perfect partner, it is just a denied reflection, a painful mirror, of a self-esteem in ruins, a shattered inner world. And when the man understands that truth, when he truly grasps it, he begins to dismantle the theater of performance. He starts to access his raw presence, his authentic being, the part of him that does not need to be perfect, does not need to perform, to be loved, but to reach that place, that profound state of self-acceptance. He must face his own shadow. He must confront the parts of himself he has disowned. And it is in that moment, that brutal, honest confrontation, that the game changes completely. The unconscious as fate. Carl Jung once wrote one of the most brutally honest truths in all of psychology. a truth that cuts to the bone. He said, what you do not make conscious will appear in your life as fate. And that is exactly what happens. To so many men, they believe they are making conscious choices. They feel they are in control. But in reality, they are just repeating unresolved pain, unhealed wounds. The shadow, it is the hidden, the wounded, the rejected side of the self. It takes the wheel of a man's life without him even noticing. It steers his decisions, his relationships, his destiny, and so every relationship, every intimate encounter becomes a repetition of old trauma, a cycle that never closes, a pattern that replays itself endlessly. This is why intimacy can feel like a minefield, not because the other person is inherently toxic, but because the wounds within, your own unaddressed pain, they are still open, they are still festering. He approaches with the mask of strength, with a facade of unwavering confidence, but inside he is collapsing, he is crumbling. He looks to the other, to the woman, for a solution, for an answer, to the existential emptiness, the profound void. He has never healed within himself. In this inner battle, the body becomes either a fortress, a wall keeping true connection out, or a bridge, a pathway to deeper understanding and healing. It all depends on how he faces emotional nakedness, as a threat or as a profound opportunity for healing, for growth. The shadow is not what you hate. It is not what you despise in others. It is what you hide from yourself. That deep fear of being weak, that panic of being rejected, that invisible, insatiable thirst for approval, all of it, it lives there, in the unconscious, waiting for its moment to emerge. And where does it emerge? In the touch that triggers a buried memory, in the emotional mirror of intimacy, in the repeated choices, the patterns that seem like coincidence, but are not. Every man at some point will project onto the other what he has not yet discovered within himself. He looks at a woman, and without realizing it, he turns her into everything. Lover, mother, confidant, savior. But the problem is not in loving. The problem is in expecting someone else, anyone else, to fill what is empty inside you. That is not love. That is the shadow's projection, the echo of ancestral lack, a phantom desire for an affection he never truly lived or truly received. And that projection, it almost always ends in frustration, in profound disappointment, because when you place someone on a pedestal, you are not seeing them. You are seeing the reflection of your own wounded soul, your own unfulfilled needs. That idealization, it becomes an emotional prison for both of you, because with the first mistake, the smallest imperfection, the whole castle collapses, the illusion shatters. The man who once projected greatness now feels contempt. Desire transforms into resentment, all because he tried to find outside what he was meant to awaken within. His sleeping animal, his denied sensitivity, his deep inner presence, his own wholeness, reclaiming your inner authority. It is in this desperate search, this relentless pursuit to feel complete, that many men lose themselves entirely. They confuse intensity with love. They mistake a profound lack for a genuine connection. They believe external presence is internal salvation. But no woman, no matter how incredible, no matter how loving, can be the perfect mirror for a man who has not yet met himself, who has not truly seen himself. The emotional mirror starts within. It begins with you, and to look at that naked reflection, that unvarnished truth, it requires a courage most men do not have. It demands an inner fortitude, and yet that very courage, that willingness to see, it is the key, the profound key to the next step. Most men spend their lives waiting to be validated, a compliment, a choice, a soft touch that whispers you are enough. But the truth, however sharp, however painful it may be, is this, that external validation, it never lasts. It is fleeting because it comes from the outside. And whatever comes from the outside, it will always leave. It will always evaporate. True healing begins The very moment a man realizes he no longer needs to beg for affection, he no longer needs to chase it, because that thirst to be chosen, that primal hunger, it can only be quenched when he chooses himself first, when he consciously, profoundly chooses his own being, self-knowledge. It is the key, not as a book theory, not as an abstract concept, but as a living practice, to look inward with raw presence, to listen without words, to face the existential void, without running, without distraction. It is in that place, where the soul lies in ruins, where you feel most exposed, that the true masculine awakening begins. Intimacy stops being a performance. It transforms. It becomes a mirror of truth, a profound reflection. Desire, when it is born from within, from a place of fullness, it does not beg. It invites. It dances lightly. It is an expression of the soul's deepest truth. That is the moment when sexuality transforms into ritual, no longer an escape, but a return, a homecoming, where sacred pleasure does not come from emptiness, but from fullness, from wholeness, where the shadow becomes an oracle, a guide, and silence becomes wisdom. If these insights into Jung's profound work have stirred something within your spirit, if you find yourself compelled to walk deeper into the wisdom of the psyche, know this: a vast library of his thought awaits. We have curated an entire series, a dedicated playlist of Jungian concepts, each video a stepping stone into this transformative philosophy. The link to this profound collection will be available for you. You will find it in the pinned comment below this very video. It is a resource, a tool for your ongoing journey. But to reach that place, that profound state of inner freedom, a man must pass through the prison of the ego. He must tear off, one by one, the masks of strength, the facades he has built, and in that pilgrimage, that arduous journey, he finds something the world tried to bury: his exposed humanity, his raw vulnerability, his authentic self. Not every woman deserves access to your body, much less to your energy, to your life force. Sex, when unconscious, when it lacks presence, it becomes an open channel through which your vital life force, your very essence, can be drained without you even realizing it. There are women and men, emotionally wounded, addicted to drama, disconnected from themselves, who carry within them a void, a deep, unfulfilled emptiness. And when you merge with that void, when you connect unconsciously, it devours the most sacred parts of you: your clarity, your strength, your direction, your peace of mind. You leave the encounter more empty, more depleted than when you entered. And still, you believe it was pleasure. You mistake drainage for delight. What she lived with other men, her emotional addictions, the unconscious pacts she maintains, the energetic residue of her past, all of that, it is etched into her body. And sex, it is the doorway, the very portal through which those energies, those patterns, those unresolved traumas can enter your life without asking for permission. You are not just engaging with her body, you are engaging her energy, her traumas, her unresolved demons. And if you are not awake, if you lack discernment, that fusion, that intimate connection, it becomes contamination. You begin to feel fatigue, apathy, confusion, an inexplicable inner conflict, and you don't even know why. This kind of intimacy, it is an invisible exchange, but it is devastating. It means nothing to have physical strength, to project fake confidence, or to post spiritual quotes on your social media feed. If, in practice, you keep opening yourself, opening your sacred being to women who live in chaos, who are drowning in their own unresolved pain, it takes energetic discernment, a profound sense of self-awareness, presence, and a new pattern of choice, a conscious decision. Because as long as you keep giving yourself to anybody, to just anyone, just to silence your own emptiness, to numb your own void, your soul, it will remain in ruins. And one day it may never return. From where it was taken, it may be lost in that unconscious exchange. Now answer honestly, to yourself, How many times did you give yourself to someone, thinking it was just desire, pure, simple lust, but you left the bed more lost, more fragmented, more confused than before? How many times did you confuse pleasure with true connection and gave your energy, your vital life force, to someone who did not even know how to care for her own, someone who was utterly lost within herself? The answer: it may hurt, it may sting, but it might also free you, because from this moment on, you can no longer say you did not know. You now understand, with a clarity that cuts through the fog, that sex, it is not a game. It is a ritual, a profound sacred exchange that the body. It is an oracle, a vessel of truth, and every intimate choice you make, every conscious or unconscious decision, either rebuilds you, it elevates you, or it buries you deeper, into your own abyss, into your own shadow. Now the choice is profoundly yours. Will you keep offering yourself fully to someone who only wants a piece of you, a fragment, or will you finally begin to require a level of consciousness, a level of presence, a level of energetic alignment, worthy of your sacred soul? The power to choose, it resides within you. Comment right now and share what makes you feel guilty for desiring intimacy, what truth settled deep within your bones. It might not only help you when expressed, but someone else might also need to hear it. If this conversation has truly reached you, if it has illuminated a forgotten corner of your own existence, share it. There are countless others, men who walk in silent emptiness. They need to hear this message right now.